biochemistry. I'm a scientist by profession. I graduated from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. And I met this business when I was starting my third year of school. Actually, I met it earlier, honestly. But I met it at that time when I had gone for my attachment, because when I look at my elder brother at home, he has a degree in communication and electronic media and PR, and he used to go for attachment after every academic year. Because before I met Forever, I knew it's go to school, get a job, and life continues. So I did the same when I went to one of the research institutes so that I could gain skill and experience in my field. And when I was there, I did a lot when it came to research. But when I was asking the people there, what does the employment rates and opportunities look like, the answers I got really discouraged me. So by the time I was leaving my attachment, I was very unsettled with my degree because I could not change courses because number one, I was government sponsored, and at the same time I was using the government education loan that is given to students who cannot afford to pay the school fees out of their pockets, because at that time a lot of things were happening in our family, from having elderly sick grandparents, and sadly two passed away, and my mom was in school, so were my brother. So honestly, getting the loan from the government was ideal for me to go to school. And when I looked at the way I was working very hard, and the fact that the opportunities were less, I really felt insulted by the education system in the country. So I started thinking about what to do, and on some random day, I met my former primary school mate when I was walking out of class, and she looked very comfortable and everything, so I got her number. And one of the pictures she had posted, she looked very beautiful, she had dressed up well. They had gone for a 5cc dinner, back then I didn't know what that was. And so I told her, you look very nice. And she used those words in the planning book, I have never forgotten. If I was to show you an opportunity where you and I can make money together, would you be interested? And I said yes, because what was I going to lose? And so I remember coming to the office, and the first person I saw when I left the lift was Jackie Mumbi. And you guys know how Mumbi dresses well. So I was like, and I just come in my jeans, and I was like, you should tell me it's a dress code or something. You see how it's just here. And looking at it, I looked at the opportunity, and I was very excited. I was ready to start until I went home and told my parents what I had found. And the first thing they said was, those products are expensive. You need to focus on your schoolwork. Of all my siblings, my grades have definitely always been the highest. I've always been a top performer. So they thought this business would make me lose focus and not continue with working towards getting a first class honors and those things. So I quit. What's that? And then it's a fact that my best friend, guys, you know her, we joined around the same time. So I saw them doing activity and starting to make money, and I said, let me come back. So I came back and I went to the planning session, and I decided to start with the warm market. And I told people about what the business was all about, and guys, nobody bought from my home market. So I quit the second time. And then it was in the last quarter of the year, so people were saying to go to the East Africa Rally in Arusha. So again, somebody who joined around the same time as me had gotten to assistant supervisor, and she was paying to go to Arusha. So I was like, okay, I need to come back. And now I told my parents, who was my upline back then, now I'm ready to start. You already know my warm market is not helping me currently. So what can I do? And that is how she introduced me to sponsoring ads. And I told you guys I'm a government sponsored student. I was a government sponsored student, and I was using the education loan. So I took a little bit of that money. It's less than $20 with the current exchange rate right now. And I sponsored an ad. And I remember getting inquiries. They were 18, I've never forgotten. And after the 18, I was able to sell 269. And I remember the first time I made money. And I called one of my former clients, and I could not believe that I had made about 2,000 shillings, and I could not believe it until I even offered that client to read it, because I could not believe she's trusted me to buy products. And when I look at the growth after that, everything has been immense. You guys have seen my dance now. Yeah. So I had started dancing when I had also joined campus, and in between that is when I had started doing it very professionally, because it is my side hustle. I teach dance. I'm a dance teacher. I teach dance, so for the Kenyans who are in the country and are interested, please just check my Instagram and you will be able to find all the class details. And at the same time, I had started making a little bit of exposure and money from dance. But this business enabled me to actually inspire and motivate my dance students to grow. And now, looking back, because I am a supervisor in the business working towards going manager this year, I have been able to achieve so many beautiful things. I will start with the ones that are very emotional to me. Like I've told you, I lost my grandfather, and when I lost my grandfather, I still hadn't been able to afford these products for my family. And this is where my journey of 3 years, 2 months of doing 5cc started. Because he had died maybe 3 months before I started doing my 5, or a couple, just a bit more. And I said, if I start doing my 5cc, I told God, I'm going to be buying my grandparents aloe vera every single month. Every single month. So when people in my team, I always tell them, that last receipt of the month, if you see it as a try-back, just to the ones going to my grandparents. And it's the fact that my grandmother used to have very bad ulcers, and she has grown her own aloe vera there. You know, back home they use it for treating chicken when they get sick. So I told her, I want you to try mine. Just try it. If it works, then we stick with this one. And it's the fact that she called me 2 days later and she spoke lessons on this yellow bottle. I mean, you know the way I can't speak about for her, but it's the fact that my grandmother was like, you don't know what you've done to me. And ever since then, she knows between the 1st and the 10th day of every month, I parcel this for her. And so for 3 years and 2 months, she has been consuming. And this is both my paternal and maternal grandma. Because I lost my grandfather before he could try the products, my maternal one. But my paternal grandfather has been able to enjoy this bottle for 2.5 years before God called him. So I do this business for them because they are the people who have the strongest faith that this business works for me. Not even my parents at the very beginning, but it's the fact that my grandmother will call me every month and remind me what this bottle has done for her. So she's one of the reasons I do this business. The people in Kenya, my father was sick some time back, and it was not something we could control until I got a bit consistent with this and our vitamin C. His uric acid levels were very high, his platelet count was low. Like I thought I knew anything about blood donation until you realize donation for platelets is different, and women can't donate. So you can imagine being helpless not to help your own father. I have to keep on looking around for all my male cousins for him to get, and to see the kind of progress these 2 products gave him. It's one of the reasons I do this business. And the other reason, of course, I do this business is because as a scientist in Kenya, honestly, the employment opportunities are very scarce, very limited. I'm a dance teacher. Generally, I enjoy teaching, passing knowledge. So I knew I'd make it as a lecturer in any university. I had very good connections with my lecturers. It could have worked. But this opportunity showed me more because I did sell as a government-sponsored student. But in my 4th year of school, all I had to do was sell 17 bottles to afford my school fees. And it worked. It was just 17 bottles. And I remember, my dad couldn't believe I hadn't applied for the loan during the window period. And I told him, you don't worry, I have this business going and I just have a small target. And if I sell those bottles, I'm going to pay my fees in time. And I did it. Other things this business has done for me, as I dance. And because of this business, I have been able to travel for dance. I have gone to South Sudan, Juba for dance for about a week. I have traveled to Johannesburg for a week of dance, all paid for by this bottle. Nobody paid that trip, but all the process I got from this bottle. And you guys, Johannesburg is beautiful. Juba has very beautiful and hospitable people. I went to Zanzibar last year for the East Africa Rally, and I have been able to do other small trips with my friends, courtesy this business. The other beautiful thing about this business as supervisor, because I know sometimes when people speak about their gifts and money benefits at manager level, sometimes us who are not yet there feel like as supervisor you can't make enough money, as assistant supervisor you can't do a lot of things. But because of this bottle, I've been able to save with one of the savings groups I am in. And I have to give it out to one of my friends called Sharon Yongesa, because that girl has made us join saving group. So I have to give a shout out to her because it's because of how we started saving so well. And I've been able to save close to $1,000 in 1 year. Last year we made over $2,000 with just that one platform. And to be able to now put that money to use, to know that it's generating interest. This is money that will grow so that now we can open investments. So for you who's not yet a manager and you're just hearing these big things about cars and houses and you're overwhelmed, just start where you are. Your goals may be small, but your goals matter to you. So it doesn't have to be about the car, it doesn't have to be about the house, it doesn't have to be about investing. It could be as simple as traveling. Guys, that travel to Johannesburg changed my dad's life. It really opened up income for me. And it's because of this yellow bottle that I'm sure that if this business has worked for me, it will definitely work for you. Thank you so much.